Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect. This is episode 18. Today's date is October 15th, 2019, and I am Duds or Duds Versus. Everywhere else you can find me.
And I'm Bankadapple, or Bank for short, and today we're gonna talk about some Minecraft. But first, how's your lower cheek doing this week?
For you guys who don't know, he has that written as butt, B-U-T-T, in the show notes. He thought of this pun and put it in the show notes. For you guys who don't know, I've been having hip problems for the last couple of weeks. I went to the doctor Friday. They did some x-rays and stuff. Bone-wise, my hip is not dislocated like I was hoping it wasn't. Turns out I tore my glute muscle and pulled my groin. So, much ouch. But I'm on medications, and it really is helping me.
It helped the stream as well.
Don't start with that. Yeah, Duds on medication gets very hyper, and I refer to myself in the third person, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that before.
Yeah. But yeah, so things I did this week. We did stream work. We ended up fixing the gold farm because that was broken. We had like no pigmen left that were doing the, what is it called? The angry call.
I was just going to say, it wasn't necessarily broken. We just had a lot of those I don't know, watcher pigmen die.
Yeah, but I tried to use it when it was in its current state. And straight up, only the pigmen on that side of the farm would get angry. The rest of them wouldn't for some reason.
Oh,
so it's like you have to have them around the outside nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But the gold farm's fixed. It works awesome, except for I starved to death at 206 levels.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my helmet. But I'm not too worried about that now. We're so far into a season. It's like, meh.
It's not going to be hard to replace, and you don't even need to replace it that badly, because everything is so safe.
The only thing I miss on it is, the water-breathing stuff.
Oh, yeah, that could be useful. I might have some of those for you. I'll look.
I've got helmets around. I just need to combine them. Like, the armor stands all around the instant height of my base are just, like, backup armor that's really close to being, like, god-tier armor. It's just I haven't put the time into it. Plus, it gives me an excuse. I've been wanting to play with villagers in 1.14. Maybe now is the kind of the time to go ahead and work on that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into those either.
Yeah, I've got a spot designated for them. It's just I haven't done it yet.
We still have a breeder that needs fixing as well.
Yeah, that's true. That might be another live stream project we could work on.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. But I also made an episode this past weekend. Well,
yay.
Like we're going to have... I love it. Yay. It basically displays all my heads that I had in the storage room. So I didn't have enough spots to display all the ripple effect heads. So it's like half of them are in a shulker box. And I was like, well, that kind of seems like I'm picking favorites when really I just ran out of room. So I threw them all in the shulker box. So I was like, first it was, I'm going to build a vault where I can store stuff like gold, diamonds, and heads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became, well, crap, I can't really get a 3x3 piston door in here. And none of my other door designs really look vaultish. I'm just going to build a room for heads. But I think the room came out really nice. I actually really like it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Bank!
Shame on me.
Now, it's a very cool room to just walk by and go, wait, what is that? And it was a little bit of a struggle, but wasn't. It's like, I sat there for a good hour and a half a couple times going, what am I doing? And then the second I got just a little bit of an idea, that carried me for the next 4 hours, and then...
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah. Other than that, we built the Grank Pumpkin in the shopping center again this year, but with some twists. This one now trades custom heads trades pumpkin pie for custom heads, and what was the other thing? A jack-o'-lantern, right?
Yeah, I think it was jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah. So, some cool stuff there. If you guys are on the server, go check it out. I meant to go show it off in my last episode, and I forgot. I often
That's
do
all
that
right.
because, like, I'll say, "Hey, at the end of the episode, we're gonna go look at this," in like the first clip of the episode. Well, it takes me like a
Oh,
week and a
yeah?
half to record, so I forget what I said in the first 5 seconds of the episode.
I get that.
It's like I really should, like, before I start recording for the day, rewatch what I have up to that point, so I don't, because I also repeat myself a ton, and it's like,
Okay. I didn't notice that, but sure.
well, I'm chalking it up to the fact that I've been gone for so long that I'm out of my groove. But
Yeah. I mean, I haven't recorded in a while either, but I always try to record like everything close to each other, or like you said, sort of rewatch it and know what I was up to.
yeah, speaking of you recording, what have you worked on this week?
Well, I didn't record, but I did work in my base a bit. I just did a bunch of gardening work, really. I started making a path towards my bigger castle. I've yet to decorate it, but that's just a lot of tree building in that, and making custom trees. Like, you don't want to do too many in a row; that gets tedious.
Yeah. Custom trees will be in my next episode. I have a design I'm going to use. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, sweet! Looking forward. You haven't done many custom trees yet.
No, and these are really simple, so I can do them over and over and over again.
Well, I mean, still, if they're simple, it's sort of a chore to do them too many in a row. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. What else you been doing?
I played a lot of Surviving Mars, which I got free on Epic Games. It's kind of nice. They give out a free game every like 2 weeks or so, or every week. I don't know. Surviving Mars. It's what is it? A strategy game, I guess. One of those city building thingies.
Oh, okay.
You have to build a colony on Mars. Yeah, I always think those games are kind of fun. This one is slow though. I don't mind that, but I can see how people would find it too slow, maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't heard it. I have to take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If you're into those games, might
I keep saying that. It's like I'm still behind on Legend of Zelda. I'm just now getting back into Minecraft. It's like, I better keep my mouth shut. Not to mention, okay, so The Witcher 3 came out for Switch this week.
Nice.
Matter of fact, today. And I really want to pick it because all I have is Breath of the Wild for the Switch. And I like the Switch as a console. I get it's not beefy or powerful or anything like that. And I don't use it in handheld mode a lot. But it's a very cool, convenient device. And I'd like to get more physical games for it, especially considering the memory for it's kind of crap. But I got to go ahead and finish up Breath of the Wild so I can pick up Witcher 3. I've been reading the Witcher books. Because Netflix is obviously doing the Witcher show series. So I've been super hyped about that. And I've never played a Witcher game. So yeah, I want to go ahead and pick that up for the Switch. So I need to go ahead and start finishing games around me and get caught up on videos and stuff. So yeah.
I think I broke up a little bit again.
You did.
Yeah. I got the gist of what you were saying about. I think so, at least.
Well, hopefully the people listening to the podcast will understand. And
yeah,
I just figured you were sitting there nodding your head.
I was doing that as well. Yeah, in both directions. Like one, yeah, I'm understanding what you're saying, and then the second one, like, no, this is not happening.
At least you didn't come back doing the whole singing song thing we do when we get cut out.
Thank you's back. Yeah, the singing is a bad idea for the podcast, I think.
Probably nobody wants to hear that.
I was just thinking, I shouldn't have said that. Now we're going to get requests.
No, we don't do One Direction. That's like the only boy band I can think of.
I mean, I'm not doing anything except when I'm really drunk, maybe, and I doubt I'll be recording when that's going on.
I don't think I will let you record. Anyway, so we got Minecraft news this week. We're trying to get back on. Tangents are over. Yeah. Last week was our big tangent episode.
It was a big tangent episode. This week's going to be Minecraft.
Okay, so Snapshot 19W41A. That's where we get our first look at honey blocks. I'm just going to head and start there. Let's just talk individually about, because there's not a lot of stuff.
No, there isn't much, but I think at least the honey blocks for sure, they're kind of interesting.
Yeah,
things going on with that.
I'm kind of excited for them. I'm disappointed in the fact that I was hoping that it would be kind of like another slime, but that doesn't stick to certain different objects. If that makes sense.
I
Like I didn't
think
want
so.
honey blocks to stick to slime, or
Right.
maybe I don't know. I think it's cool though that it can pick up entities and like
Yeah.
items and stuff. I think that's awesome. Like that's an awesome mechanic.
I'm really curious what people are gonna do with that. Like,
Yeah.
the obvious one is, oh no, flying machines have like a spot where you can stay on. But
Mhm.
I think this is gonna be way more interesting for maybe farm building.
Yeah.
I don't know, pranks. Set a creeper on top of one of those
Pranks could
things
be
and launch
cool.
it at someone.
Well,
I
and
don't know.
here's the thing: they are a little bit harder to get than slime blocks because usually once you set up a slime farm, you're rolling around in slime balls in like an hour.
Yeah.
With this,
Hmm.
you got to take your time unless you build it ginormous. Because let's face it, Hermitcraft's going to build ginormous honey farms within the 1st
I'm
day.
sure the mechanics will be abused fairly quickly of the what is it? You have to build a house for the bees, and then the bees have to go and collect it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna take a while.
I could see
But-
maybe taking with the flower farms that have the shifting floors
Mhm.
in the bone meal. I wonder if like combining one of those with a bee and honey farm would do any good, or the shifting floors might be too much and the bees can't pathfind to the flowers or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, if it's gonna depend on how often a bee flies to a flower.
Yeah.
And I guess it's gonna do that. Then you just want to make sure they go to the flowers quicker and get back. Maybe just find a way to stack the flowers really close. I don't know.
But
We'll find out what to do with it.
yeah, other cool, interesting things about honey blocks is you can slide down them.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like throw yourself up against the wall, splat, and then slide down them slowly. Also, here to me, this is the cool part. This is where things are going to get a little tricky. That a honey block, while visually the same size as every other block, is not. So, like, when you slam yourself up against the side of a honey block and you slide down it, if you have, like, a stone block directly underneath the honey block and you're sliding down the honey block, you're going to get caught on the stone block. You won't be able to get past it. You'll be standing on that stone block.
Ooh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, same thing happens with items. So, items will get stuck on the stone block. And then, if you have a honey block touching another honey block side by side, that little space, kind of like how, you know how slime has that light green outline and then a darker green on the inside?
Yeah.
Well, the honeycomb or honey block does that too. And technically, you can shoot directly through those two honey blocks with an arrow. Because technically, they're not touching right there, even though they visually are. So, secret buttons.
Yeah. Oh, that's... I mean, I told you. It's just gonna wait and see for what kind of interesting things they'll come up with that block. But I think a lot of cheeky stuff is gonna be invented with it.
My favorite part of the honey block so far isn't really anything to do with the game. It's a meme that came out. Have you watched The Office, like the American version?
I mean, I've seen some episodes. I've never really watched it as a dedicated thing, I guess.
Anyways, there's a meme. I'll have to try to find it, give it to Carl, put it in the show notes. But it's like Mojang releases the honey block, and Minecraft players' first thought is you have Steve Carell who takes his tie, ties it around his head, and they're doing like parkour around the office.
Okay.
And they're just yelling parkour as they do it the entire time, because that's all Minecraft players thought about when the honey block came out was, I can now wall run, parkour. I'll have to find the image because it was hilarious, and to me, that's my favorite part of the whole 115. It's a meme that's not even like in the game.
Yeah. I think it'll be great for parkour.
Mm-hmm. Don't make me do
Although
another parkour course for my birthday.
I mean, I don't really do those myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a popular thing, and I think it'll be great for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great game mode. I'm just so bad at it that I can't call myself a ninja anymore.
I don't think I'm necessarily bad at it, but that's not something I have patience for.
That too.
I don't know. There's a lot of things I have infinite patience for, but parkour maps is not one of them.
Yeah. The other block that came out was the honeycomb block, and me and you were trying to have a discussion without having a discussion before the podcast about this block.
Yeah.
So my biggest complaints is it's just a decoration block. It doesn't do anything other than look pretty. And to me, it just kind of looks like you put a waffle on the wall. Right?
I can see your point.
I mean, put an item frame on the table and put a honeycomb block on it, and bam, you're serving waffles.
Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah. My big thing is you have honey in a jar. You have honeycomb. I want honey chicken. I want honey pork chops. I want honey steak. Let me combine it with some food items. Give me a honey apple.
Those honey things are going to be your red dragon, right?
I know, right? At least until 116 comes out, then I'll get my red dragon, right, Mo Yang? Wink, wink.
I fully agree with you, though. We want honey foods, really.
Yeah. I just want more foods in the game, period. And I get mushrooms are coming in 116, and you have the suspicious stews. It's like, no, I want a real viable food source. Suspicious stews are cool, but they don't stack. It's like,
I mean, not necessarily sure if I want more foods. Like, we got plenty of foods. Just make them more combinable. Do something with it.
That's true.
Instead of, you can just cook this and eat it. And it's going to be worse than that.
If you combine honey and, like, I don't know, steak or something, and instead of it stacking to 64, it's only allowed to stack to 32 as kind of an offset.
Right.
But, I mean, at that point, honey steak should have the same saturation as golden carrots or whatever.
I mean, I'd say get rid of the golden carrots and make, like, honey apples and stuff, like you said. And do the same thing with honey. I don't know. I personally wouldn't want to eat golden stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have so much options to go and be creative with the food that I think they should try and maybe give that a go.
Yeah. Okay, but before we go any further, you were talking about you had one solution that would make me change my mind about honey blocks being useless. Or honeycomb blocks.
I think they're going to be awesome for windows.
You can't see
Put them down as glass, put some fences in front of it. No, not see-through windows, but they're going to be great for, like, on the outside. It looks like they're lit up windows. If you get a house that's... or maybe like a castle thingy. I mean, it's not great, but I think for specifically that, I think they might be great as a decoration block.
I'll go 50-50 with that. If it's a non-functional house, kind of like how I have in front of my fort this season.
Yeah.
Where they're just houses to look pretty from the outside. There's nothing really going on with the interior. I think you could be right. They could work as windows, for sure.
I think because at least the texture looks like... I mean, that popped into my head as soon as I saw them. I was like, oh, that's going to be, like, great windows.
Yeah. It would be cool if they had the same, was it the light reaction as magma blocks? Where if you put a light behind it, they now glow a little bit?
No.
No? Just
Discord or whatever is breaking up again.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Boy.
Man, it's like we don't have any technical issues until we start recording the podcast.
I know, right? I'm wondering if it's the Discord or not.
I don't know. I can hear you now, so you want to keep going?
Yeah. We were at the next part, aren't we?
I don't know. I mentioned honeycomb blocks glowing like magma blocks, and that was kind of it. Do you want to go on to the next
do they?
No, I was saying they should.
Oh. I mean, logically, that wouldn't make sense, but it would be great if they did. That would look cool. Yeah. The sneak and sprint are going to get a toggle option, so you can toggle them on and off. Which I think is great, because then if you have to, crouch for a long time or sprint for a long time, you don't have to constantly keep pressing it. And they also mentioned that means we can sneak while being like in your inventory or something.
Yeah.
You can just keep on sneaking. So that's great, especially for UHC kind of things. If you want to sneak up on people and want to be in your inventory but don't want to be spotted.
My sneak and sprint already are toggleable. That does not sound like a word when you say it out loud. Toggleable?
Yeah. But you have to do weird tricks to get your controller working.
Yeah. Controller noob. I don't care. I love my controller.
I mean, I can't really blame you. I prefer playing with mouse and keyboard, but I think you went the smart way. You like playing with a controller, so you just made it work.
What else you got?
we're gonna be able to craft stripped wood from stripped logs.
I thought you
so
could
stripped
already
wood
do
is
that.
the one. No, I think if you wanted stripped wood, you had to place like the regular wood thing down and then strip it.
Oh.
Because the wood is the, what is it? The 4-sided or the 6-sided log, basically.
Yeah, you're talking about the all bark log.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can now craft them if you have stripped logs. I mean, it's a small thing, but I think it's...
Yeah, I can see what that
it's
would
about
be
time. Mm-hmm.
Alright, next thing we have is mobs avoid lava better. I'm still going to put 2 trapdoors down, and those dummies are still going to walk into it. So,
I mean, maybe they'll fix that as well. Although they didn't specify better pathfinding, so I guess that would still work.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it, because I don't know how many times I've had, like, a sheep or a pig or a cow, and I'm trying to lure them back, and they'll just walk right into a lava lake.
Mm-hmm.
So, that might be more what they're talking about, but... Yeah, I mean, any AI movement is better than nothing. So I definitely can't complain about that. The other thing I think is cool is we can finally save our iron golems. I can finally bring Frederick into the world without him dying from something stupid.
Right.
But yeah, your iron golem will now crack when losing his health, and you can heal it with iron ingots. I think that's a great improvement.
Yeah, same here. Especially if you're... now with the village and pillage upgrade, the villagers are really kind of they're kind of a safe place to hang out because of that iron golem. They do their work really well.
Uh-huh.
And if you're a new player, like getting 4 iron blocks and a pumpkin, that's hard to replace the iron golem. But now you can just feed it like a couple of ingots.
That's sure.
So I think that'll be great for like new players and that are not that familiar with the game who want to have a safe spot in the village.
Yeah. I'm going to be taking advantage of that for sure.
What is the next thing? Slime blocks and honey blocks are no longer stick to each other when interacting through piston mechanic blocks.
Yeah, so I saw this on Exuma's Twitter, like literally about an hour or two before we started recording. He was reading through the Bedrock change notes, because Bedrock got bees and everything today. And in the change notes, it says slime blocks and honey blocks don't stick together anymore when using a piston to move them. So that's even more redstone mechanics that may or may not come to Java. Who knows? Oh god, we lost Banks again.
What's going on?
There he is.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
Oh,
this
technical.
This is not great. This is already 3 times in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't know what we can do to fix it. It's just kind of one of those things where we have to fight through it. Yeah, he's gone again.
We gotta fight through it.
Becky, come back.
Stop this. Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Jeez. Oh, this is annoying.
It really is. It's kind of like
get it.
Before we record the next podcast, I'm going to make you do a full-on system shutdown, redo your router and everything.
I know, right? Well, I actually didn't think about it. It shouldn't be my internet. It never really messes up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm all green on this side. It's like, I can see you and I can see me perfectly. It's just something.
Oh well. We'll fight through it for now and then do some massive fixing afterwards. Gotta get to the bottom of it.
Anyway, so
all right,
let's go ahead and start moving on to some other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's point out we have a Discord. We do this every week. You guys know the drill. It's a great place to hang out with fellow Wither Effect members. Ask people who work on the episode's questions. It is also the best way to get in contact with us. I mean, we have Twitters and stuff, but we follow the Discord a lot more closely. We love hearing from you guys.
We're actually getting a great community going on there.
Dog pictures are still getting posted.
Yeah, special channel for it, even.
I kind of did that, like, that's going to be my new thing. Before we start recording, I'm going to snap a picture of the puppy and put it up in the Discord.
Nice.
So it's like, recording puppy day.
Yeah. Well, that gives you a great reason to post a puppy picture every week. It
is true. I want to start doing the whole, like, remind guys, like, hey, we're recording today. You got any questions or comments you want to share?
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad... You should do it the day before then. It gives people enough time to...
yeah, well, and gives us enough time to research the answer so we don't look like fools. Or sound like fools, I should say. More than
that might help as well.
Yeah. So we're going into our main topic of discussion today, and that's going to be like tips and tricks beginning a new world.
Yeah?
Yeah. So,
well, you actually had some tips and tricks before.
Yeah,
like
before
you start even a world.
So a couple things I thought of considering, like, so if I'm getting ready to play a single player world, or heck, even when I was running the Comicraft server before we started a new world or anything, I would consider the amount of players on the world, because that's kind of a big thing. Do you want everyone living close together? Do you want everyone spread out? You also got to think, do you want to theme your build particularly? Because let's face it, an old Western theme isn't really going to work in an ice spikes biome. So do you really want to spawn straight into one of those, or a deserted island in the middle of a warm ocean? So,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, choosing a seed helps a lot.
What could be really annoying as well is if you spawn on a little island in the middle of a big ocean.
Yeah,
like,
with no trees, so you can't make
exactly.
a boat.
It's gonna take you half an hour before you can even start playing the map. You might as well just start a new one.
I've always been a fan of just going out and Googling the internet for seeds. I know some people just like to randomly hit go and get what they get, but
that's me.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the seeds, coming up with themes. Do I want to do a mountain build, which is normally what I do anyways. Another thing to consider is PC specs. So,
yeah,
if you're planning on building a lot of redstone projects, but you're also planning on doing some other stuff, like you don't want to build redstone projects like where you're going to be a lot of. If you have lower PC specs, you kind of want to build them in a spot where you go visit and leave. So that also could come into doing stuff with your seed and your theme. Maybe you have an industrial area in some random plains biome that's 500 blocks away, so it only gets loaded and is only lagging your PC down. Maybe you have a beast of a PC, and you're like, you know what? I spawned here. This is where the iron farm's going. Even though they're not really laggy anymore, so...
Well, as well, if you get like massive mountains, you got to dig it all away. Is that something you want to start off with?
Again, choose the seed.
Yeah, those are some pretty good tips. I never really thought about it that way.
Well, I mean, when you start in the jungle, you're like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is a great place to start. And then like you die in the first night because creepers wandering behind you, exploding.
Or 15 minutes later, you're still crawling through the jungle.
Right. And you're like, I swear that bush looks exactly the same as that other bush I passed. It's like, well, of course, it's Minecraft.
It's a really cool area, but it's hard to walk through, I guess.
Yeah. So what about you? Because you've got like a detailed list of stuff.
Yeah, I started thinking like tips and tricks, and then the first thing that popped into my head is like, who are you gonna give tips and tricks to, right? Because if I were to give tips and tricks to you when you start a new map, those would obviously be completely different than to someone who starts with the game for the first time.
Yeah.
So I thought we'll take it sort of beginners and a more experienced tips and tricks, I guess.
Okay.
And we already divided it into like, what are you going to do for your first night, or for your first week, and then what after that. So yeah, when you're a beginner, like the whole game is new to you, obviously. So that's... a lot of people are really scared of the first night already when they start playing the game.
Dig a hole.
So, well, that's one thing to do. I think that's how a lot of people ended up. That's probably what I did as well. I did
that the first night.
And then you're gonna be bored for like 10 minutes, right? Because you're stuck in that hole. So try like your first day. Like a good thing to do is just get some food, get a bed, like skip the nights. That's actually a great tip for like the first week if you're really new. Just skip all the nights. If you don't, just try and get a safe spot, like a cave, and block it off, but a little bit bigger than the little hut, or what is it, the little hole normal people like make, because you're gonna get bored for 10 minutes doing nothing, which is just a shame, really.
So my first night, I was playing, and I dug the 1x2 hole, or whatever, buried myself in there, and then when I thought it was daytime, because I heard zombies burning and everything, I was like, great, I'm safe. Broke the block above my head. A creeper fell in the hole, blew me up.
Yep. Yeah. Those holes are more dangerous. after the night as well. Because creepers, they don't disappear.
Mm-mm. So from now on, whenever I have to bury myself somewhere, it's in the side of something 2 blocks tall. So I can open a hole and then kind of peek out and see if I'm getting ready to get blown up and then move out.
I generally go for a side hole as well. Or if it's a new map, I try and find a cave. They usually can find them really easy. There are plenty of those.
One, if you're only
and then
chilling
just
for
block off a little section.
Yeah, if you're only chilling for one night, on top of a tree is a good spot too.
Oh, that's a good point. Although skeletons might get a little bit.
That's true. And if you're there
spiders can climb up.
A couple of nights, you have phantoms.
Oh, yeah. Well, you shouldn't have to worry about those the first night.
Yeah.
Also, shields. They are a massive lifesaver. Just go for shields.
Yeah.
They kind of block anything.
Mm-hmm.
They only cost like 1 iron and some wood. That's you can easily get that in your first day.
Yeah, I'd never used the shield that much when it first came out because I just couldn't remember the stupid recipe. Because the shield looks nothing like the recipe.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I could never remember it. And then now that we have the recipe book, I'm just so used to not using it that I haven't been using it. I have one in my inventory at all times, though.
I mean, once you get some decent armor, the shield's not really necessary. But for the first while, they're really great.
Yeah, and
they literally almost block anything.
Yeah, I'm contemplating changing my gameplay up a little bit. That would require me to really use the shield, so it might get some action. I might go ahead and get a shield with some mending and unbreaking on it.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, not really, but sure.
I mean, relying on a shield more than on your armor, that's kind of interesting, but you do have to pay more attention, which is hard.
Right, I think it'll be more skill-based. Granted, I die from starvation at a gold farm, so this is what I have to deal with, but...
Yeah, shield's not going to help against starving. I mean, I guess you could chew on it, but...
Yeah, but what about an experienced player? What are they doing their first night?
Well, I'd say get a shield first day.
Yeah.
Get full iron, ideally. Yeah, it sounds... I mean, it's very possible. Like, there's a lot of iron on the ground. You can dig it up quite easily if you just run through some caves. Or go on the ocean, find some shipwrecks.
That's a good point.
Shipwrecks have a lot of iron in them. 1 or 2 shipwrecks, and you can have up to like 40 iron ingots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also have gold armor that you can get, and while it's not as durable as iron armor, it'll still protect you a decent amount to start with.
Yeah. Especially if you combine it with the shield, where you have some, if you know something is coming, you can block it all together. Yeah. Also, the shipwrecks have some diamonds in them sometimes. And the maps, which lead to even more loot, possibly.
Yeah.
Also, I'd recommend for more experienced players, try and get an ender pearl the first night. If you're daring to. Because that'll get you an ender chest, which is something I'd recommend work to, like, in your first week, probably.
Well, see, I thought you were going a different way, because Bank's known on the first day of every server since they've come out, he goes and gets shulker boxes.
Yeah.
Doesn't fight the dragon. Just pillars out, go finds an in-city, and he's got a shulker box by the end of the first day.
I mean, I would fight the dragon, but normally servers have this thing where they want to fight it in groups, which I understand, but yeah. In order to respect that, you kind of just have to bridge out.
Well, I'm calling you Mr. Speedrun from now on, because if you guys don't know, Bank's been doing the speedruns and posting them on his YouTube channel. They're his highest viewed videos. Like, people love his speedruns. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, what is it? It's not even my latest one, but like I uploaded 3, the middle one. It actually got like 500 views now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I only uploaded them so I could put them on the website, and I was like, alright, like, 3 people are gonna watch it, because they have to, like, judge it, so they're forced to watch it, even.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people voluntarily watch it, which is awesome.
So, for a Halloween costume, Bank, your guy has to put on a Flash costume.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I'll actually look into that. You know what? I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget.
See, now we know real stuff's cooking.
Get a note. Sorry for the noises. I have to write that one down. Flash costume.
Thinking ahead. I just reused my same pumpkin shirt from last year.
Yeah, but you change your outfit a bunch more than I do.
Yeah, I think I've got like 9 skins so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
Not including the underwear Aquaman.
I mean, that one doesn't...
I don't think I saved it.
For
I think
like
I used it once.
I think I might still have that.
The underwear Aquaman?
I think you send it to. I'm not sure.
Oh, God.
But we'll get back to the topic.
Yeah, we're at
Aquaman underwear, because
we're back to beginners on their first week. What do they got to do?
Yeah. Well, once you have a bed down, which is a respawn point, don't go explore a bit. Don't be scared, because you have a respawn point.
Yeah.
Just go and explore, discover the game.
Don't be afraid to
see
die.
what's around you. Yeah, don't be afraid to die. You will die anyway, so don't. You might as well embrace it. And if you're afraid, like, oh, I don't want to lose this, just put something in the chest and leave it there, and only use it when you need it. Because when it's in that chest, it'll be safe. Yeah. Even when a creeper explodes next to it, your chest will break, but your items will just spread out over the ground, so you can pick them up still. Mm-hmm. What else? Collect a lot of iron. Like, try and go in caves and stuff. Just iron is a it gets you everything, like tools and armor, and that really helps you survive and do things. So it's a good thing to look out for, and you don't have to go deep underground. I think like below sea level. So when you see water, like the ocean, as soon as you're below that, you can find iron. So you don't have to go deep. Mm-hmm. And for your first week, I guess it's good to set some kind of goal. Like, you don't want to wander around aimlessly forever. So decide what you want to do. Do you want to go and adventure a bit? Go after, like, strongholds and dungeons, that kind of things? Or do you want to build a house? Do you want to be a hoarder and just collect all the things there are?
All the things.
Yeah. I mean, try and... I think that'll help you. Just get a goal and sort of something to do, to work towards.
Yeah, having a goal is always a big thing.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I said it again, but try and just go into places you're not really familiar with. Explore, especially the scary places. Once you get a respawn point, sort of. I mean, I want to say get comfortable dying. You shouldn't probably, but I mean, it's not a bad thing to die. There's nothing really scary about it, although it might seem that way. Yeah. And the more you spend in the spots that you're afraid of, like, the more you'll know. Like, oh, this isn't too bad.
By the end of the
I know the Nether.
Yeah, the end of the first week, that's what I was going to say. You probably were able to get into the Nether by then.
Yeah, and I know the Nether is, like, a lot of people find that, like, really scary. And I had the same thing when I started playing. I was constantly on edge. And now it's like, well, as long as I keep moving, nothing's going to happen. Just keep walking. You don't even have to run. Just keep walking. And even when one of those ghasts shoot, it's going to shoot where you were. The ball isn't going to... It's not a homing missile.
Yeah.
So they just go where you were. So just don't be at the point where the guy shoots at.
Plus, that's where the court's at. You want the pretty blocks.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty blocks. Also a lot of experience if you want to get enchanting stuff done.
Oh, you remember when we were talking in an earlier episode about creating our own mobs, and I obviously wanted a mob that drops quartz?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I completely forgot that now there's a villager that trades quartz blocks.
What?
Yeah. A stonemason villager will trade quartz blocks.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know about that. That's useful.
I don't think he trades the flour, though.
Yeah, so only the blocks, but not the...
Like, he'll straight up sell you the regular, clean block. So basically, you can make any other quartz block out of it. But if you want the flour to do redstone, you still got to go into the Nether.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that's still pretty cool, though. That's going to help a lot when you want to do builds with quartz.
Well, especially
the quartz blocks are really expensive to get.
Yeah, especially when you're playing on a server like all of us. And everyone's grinding. I remember at one point I had a shulker box full of quartz ore. And it's just like, I know that's kind of mean stealing all this quartz, but I think I'm still to the point where I need more quartz. Like, I've gone through that whole shulker box, and I'm not even building with a lot of quartz this year.
I was just gonna say, like, even if you get like a shulker box full of quartz ore, it's gonna be like, what, 2, maybe 3 stacks of quartz blocks?
I think it's more than that, but that's what it feels like.
It's probably more than that, but yeah, it's... you don't get much pick for those.
No, so that's another reason I'm kind of wanting to play with villagers. I'd like to see what some of these other guys that we've not really traded with before. Because let's face it, it's been farmers and librarians for years. That's all anyone cared about. Maybe an armorer or a blacksmith.
Yeah.
But now you got guys like these stonemasons. It's like, ooh, hello.
Yeah, and I noticed the Fletchers, for example, they trade arrows. I think that's kind of useful as well. Maybe the old ones did that. I actually not sure.
I can't remember. I mean,
I think that could be interesting as well. Yeah. Well, also with the crossbow, they don't have an infinity. So if you really like to use the crossbow, you'll want a steady supply of arrows, I guess.
I still don't have a crossbow. I still don't think I've fired one yet.
Oh, you wanna get it from a villager, right? Or from a villager?
Yeah, I was wanting to get it from a patrol and not just go and attack one of their little towers. But patrols aren't happening as often as I thought they would. I think I've
also when we found a patrol, we ended up trapping the guy.
That's true too. Well, I had 2 more patrols since then.
Oh, really?
And
nice.
None of them have dropped anything, so I think I'm just going to go ahead. I think it's Carl who built the raid farm or whatever. I might just go explore that area and go ahead and do it that way. Because I want to play with them. I've not ever played with them, so...
I mean, they're fun to play with a little. I don't like them as much as the regular bow, but... Yeah. That's a personal thing as well, I guess.
Yeah. So what about an experienced player his first week? Or her first week?
Get a home point, some backup stuff, and food. Like, just a place where you have that, so you don't have to worry about it too much all the time. Get a silk touch pickaxe and an under chest.
Yes.
I think for an experienced player, that should be doable the first week. Those 2 are, silk touch pickaxe, obviously, to move your under chest around. And then, you can get the diamond ores. You can just collect the ores, which are a lot smaller than when you break them up into their pieces. If that makes sense. Like a redstone ore, if you chop that down, it's going to break into 7 or 8 parts. Redstone dust.
I was shaking my head yes, but I was yawning at the same time.
Nice.
So words weren't coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. That's alright. So silk touch pickaxe is really useful.
Yes.
One thing I've seen so many people do is they rush towards diamond gear and then spend all their time getting experience and enchanting that diamond gear. And then usually they die within an hour and lose all that stuff. And then they quit.
Yes.
I'd recommend not getting diamond gear and not go and enchant it. Especially not the first week. Maybe wait a month. I generally wait until we got an Enderman farm. And that can even take more than months.
For me, I've always followed the rule of I get my tools diamond and enchanted the way I want them. And I'll enchant my iron armor for sure. But I'm not trying to force all the enchantments I want on the iron armor. It's just kind of enchant it, see what I can get. And if I get lucky, I get a couple good things together, I'm good to go. And then once my tools are all set up and I have a home base of operations, I go ahead and start doing armor and stuff. Because it's 28 diamonds or whatever to do just a regular suit of diamond armor. And then...
24, you can... Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're trying to combine multiple diamond stuff to get it to work together, not worth it.
Well, and getting the levels.
Yes.
To get an enchant, you got to be level 30. It takes a while, especially when there's no farm. I usually go by the rule, I want to make sure I can replace it easily.
Yes.
Iron armor, always easy to replace. Unenchanted diamond stuff, easy to replace. Full-on enchanted diamond stuff, that gets tricky if you don't have, the tools for it.
Oh, thanks, phone. That's awesome.
Like a good experienced farm. Yeah. And for experienced players, the first week is a good time to go and explore. Try and find the end gate.
I think, personally, I've only found the end once. And that was the first Comicraft map. Every time this is in, some random player would just be mining and they stumble across it.
Nice.
So I've never had to, go look for the end in, the last 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, they're not hard to find, but I don't know. It can be fun trying to sort of find one.
Okay, so back to beginners. You've lived through your first week. you've got a home and
got
stuff going on like that. What do you do then?
Yeah, I'd recommend. I'd recommend this for the first week for experienced players. But get a home point, have a place to go home to, a safe spot where you got all your food, just a spot where you don't have to worry about any form or danger, where you can just relax and hang out.
Yeah.
And also, that's gonna be the point where you spawn back when you die. So you wanna be safe there.
Yeah, I like the idea of a renewable food source at your home.
Yeah, I think that's because, well, I mean, again, if you die and you lose all your stuff that you got on you, if that's all you have, then as soon as you spawn, you're gonna have to find food. If it's night, you might be in a tricky situation. Or if you want to get back to your gear and it's night, you want to have something to get health back while you get to it. So having like a food source at your home. Well, I put my hands up to do brackets, but nobody can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that you can count as a home. It could be a cave. Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
Where your bed is.
This is kind of later in the game, but I always suggest having like a backup backpack. So when you die and you want to go get your gear, have some just like kind of leftover random armor laying around. Have it with a couple golden apples in there, maybe even.
Yeah. Because
you may have to go kill something that's now wearing your armor.
Yeah, good point.
So,
well, actually, now on the server, in my ender chest, I have a shulker box called Banky Died. And it's basically just my standard inventory that I always have on me, and it's in that chest. So I have a complete new set of armor in there.
Well, there you go.
Obviously, that's, when you're well into your game and you have the luxury of all that stuff and being able to make it. But I had some spare time, and I was like, I might as well just make an extra set of armor. Yeah. And if I die, I can just, even if I lose it all, I immediately have a new set. I don't lose.
Yeah.
I don't have to go and create a new set immediately.
Yeah, I like your next topic. You're saying in the fact that explore the game. Don't just play comfortably. Like, challenge yourself. I mean, to me, the biggest breakthrough in Minecraft for me was when I decided to sit down and I was like, I'm going to learn redstone.
Right? Yeah, that was so much fun to learn.
Yeah, I still
it opened up a whole new world.
Next to nothing compared to guys like Mumbo Jumbo and Tango Tech or even Il Mango. Oh my lord.
Right.
I can only imagine what he knows. I can only imagine what he's forgotten that I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, I'm scraping the surface on redstone, but yet I feel if I want to build it, I can build it somehow. So
yeah, getting to know the basics is not too hard.
Not hard. You just
and it opens up a whole new world. Yeah, exactly. And it opens up a whole new world of things to do. It's so cool.
Yeah. Don't just build tutorials.
I mean, I start off building tutorials, but it's a great way to learn the mechanics of redstone. But once you get a feel for it, just try and create your own
the way I learned was, so I'd watch the tutorial, and 90% of the farm would be the tutorial. But I would always tweak something. It's like, I'm watching a tutorial from 2 years ago. There might be something a little bit different that I can tweak here and there. Like when observers came out, they became the new tweaking object. It's like, well, you can do it this old way, but now you can put 3 observers and that takes a whole section of this farm out.
Yeah, or something I ran into a lot was that the tutorial doesn't fit.
Yes.
So you have to modify it to just make it fit in the area you're building.
Yeah, the final Comic Craft season, we built the Snow Crash's Blaze farm that was V-shaped with the rails and everything.
Yeah.
That didn't fit, and I was flipping it so it was inverse of itself at the same time. And I remember,
didn't we also change didn't we do a different crusher at the end of it from another farm or something?
Yeah, we used a crusher from, I want to say it's a Wither farm.
Okay.
And it was just nonstop going the entire time because I couldn't get timing circuits down. I just like, you know what, it's going to run nonstop. As long as no one's in the area, it's just going to turn off anyways, so.
Yeah, and that worked kind of nice.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by don't just follow tutorials. Obviously, learn from the tutorials, but put your own personality into it.
Yeah, try and play around with it once you get a bit comfortable and start to understand it. Yeah, make sure you have fun as well. That's kind of...
Yes.
That's the most important one. Just have fun. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, literally, if you can dream it, you can build it in Minecraft. That's the best.
I mean, Minecraft it doesn't have goals. I mean, there's some advancements you can go to, I guess, but there's no. You can't finish the game. Just enjoy it.
I was gonna say,
enjoy the ride.
You can't beat Minecraft, but Minecraft can beat you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Feel the burn.
Also, map makers can beat you, but that's a whole different story.
Hey, those guys cheat, man.
Literally.
All right, so what about your experienced Minecraft players? What are they doing after the first week?
Yeah, make sure that everything you got is easily to renew.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make sure you got some spare diamonds to make a new armor set. Get some XP farms so you can enchant all your stuff.
Mm-hmm. I highly recommend the furnace XP storage thing. I've been using that. So I had to use the gold farm, obviously. And I sat there and I went, this thing's so much slower compared to that furnace XP storage unit now.
I think the XP storage is great for especially like when you're digging a lot and your pickaxe broken, but for the rest nothing is broken.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, now I gotta go to the gold farm or the ender farm. Well, you only have to repair one item.
Mm-hmm.
And for you can just go to your thing, click the button.
Yep.
Have a fresh pickaxe. Yeah, so awesome. Those are the great things to work to. Also can't live without shulker boxes, so make sure you get those.
That's very true. I don't know what I do. I don't want to start over because I don't want to lose my shulker boxes. I've got more shulker boxes this season than I've ever had, and I don't know what I do without them.
I mean, the main reason is we upped the drop rates on them a little bit.
Yeah. Which is nice, because after the first month, I haven't had to go back into the end for shulker boxes.
I think I haven't gone back. Like, I went into the end, like, the first week, and then I haven't been back. Or not to hunt for shulkers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did minigame in the end.
Yeah. I've been in the end. That's true.
We haven't been hunting. I think we went elytra hunting one time, because I lost an elytra.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't really for shulkers. We did shulker hunting because we were already there, but we were there for elytras.
I remember also flying around the end, actually, just picking up the elytras. Like, I would just ignore the whole thing and just pick up the elytra and go again. I would never have done that, but we're kind of spoiled now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, for this, like, experienced players already kind of know what to do. Just so make sure you have fun. Do what you do. Experienced players already sort of have their way to do, right? Some are redstoners, some are builders, some are explorers.
Yeah, and whatever you're not good at, practice it.
Yeah, expanding your skill set.
Yeah.
The more you know, the more you can play with it, so that the more creative you can be.
Last season, I made a goal of I was going to be better at terrain work and forming natural land formation, so I built a base in a hole that literally had to be formed out of nothing, and I think I did a really good job at that. And this season was I need more buildings that aren't shoved into a mountain or a hole, and I think again I'm excelling at that, even though part of my base is still kind of in a mountain.
I remember in the Discworld I wanted to learn how to build trees.
Mm-hmm. Your trees on that I did that a lot. Awesome. Which says something considering the Discworld had awesome generated trees to start with.
I mean, I'm still quite happy with my trees. Mm-hmm. They come out a bunch quicker though. Like, I would spend like hours on the tree there.
Yeah.
Although the last map helped a lot too, making all those palm trees.
I was gonna say your palm trees to me are the best ones. Like, I want Mojang to follow that tutorial for palm trees.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would be so honored if they did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you're shoving, melons and coconuts up in there for some of them. It was cool.
It's the little details that do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, last map, I challenged myself to try and build more in a modern style, which I normally wouldn't do.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever really seen you build anything modern.
Yeah, I think it worked out well. It was a big challenge, and I struggled with it quite often.
That's kind of how I am with this season. Yeah. I never build medieval style. Mm-hmm. So I'm finding it's like I have more options to choose from.
Right.
Which you think would make things easier, but it just makes it way harder.
It's kind of the same problem I'm running into. Like, normally I'm in the swamp, so it's pretty much empty. Mm-hmm. There's no landscape to go off. which normally is something I do a lot. I see what kind of area I got around me and sort of build into that. But now it's there isn't any, which is kind of tricky.
Yeah, I mean, but you've done a really good job taking the little landmass you have. Your walkway in and out of your starting home in that area, to me, it's one of my favorite details in the whole base.
Yeah, I've been starting to try and decorate the area and sort of branch that out, and hopefully that sort of gives me that land I want or need to build more around. It's sort of an inspiration kind of thing, but it's also, I like building nature things. You don't have to be too, how do you say it? You can be real rough with it. You can just put things around, and the more mistakes you make, the better it kind of looks.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen like a 1x1 hole in like my grass field, and I grab like a cobblestone stair and just shove it in there. And say, oh, that actually works. So leaving it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the mistakes that make things look good or something.
But talking about expanding, like us building differently, to me, that's what you should do after the first week stuff. Like, you're an experienced player, you've been playing this for a while. It's like, now you're starting to get burned out and demotivated. How do you keep going? We talked about this with C3PO. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. But change your build style. Do something completely wild and crazy and different. Maybe, I don't know, build something you would see in Harry Potter.
Make a story or recreate a story.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That's awesome, yeah.
That's how I started this season, was I had to tell a story because I couldn't figure out how to build medieval. And now that I've figured that out, it's come more easy. I don't have to always tell a story. But, I mean, you look at my last room, which was a room of heads. That started out with me saying, well, this is a keep. Keeps have vaults. I need to build a vault. And then it kind of just morphed into something different from there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that the story also does. Like, if you don't know what to do, you just think back of the story you made up for it. And then, oh, right. I still have to build that. It sort of can guide itself.
Yeah. Or if you can't come up with the story, there's plenty of stuff you can find online, whether it be written ideas or TV shows or movies.
Well, like you say, if you like Harry Potter, go and make a Harry Potter world. Yeah. Like, go and make Hogwarts or Diagon Alley or whatever you pronounce that.
You stole it. I was like, I'm going to get Harry Potter fans excited to watch this nudge, Diagon Alley. It's like, oh, well, no, screw that.
Sorry. Go make his closet bedroom thingy.
You already did that.
I kind of did. Well, it's not my bedroom.
Well, not anymore.
I used to have my bed there, that's true.
Don't worry, I'll build a bed underneath a staircase somewhere for you. We'll call it Benky's house. But
Benky's house.
I think we're wrapping up, right? We've covered everything we had on the notes.
Yeah. Also, it's we're at an hour, pretty much.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that, to be honest, for this episode.
Yep. We had stuff in mind, and we knew the news was going to be something deep to cover. So, thank you, Mojang, for releasing some snapshots that were more than just we fixed bugs.
Well, there was actually like sort of a new mechanics to talk about. Normally, it's we added this, which is similar to that or whatever. This was something new. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take us out.
Take us out.
But Carl made me do work, so him. He's got to do work now and bleep me. Sorry, I couldn't resist. If you like the show,
I'm only you can share it once.
Yeah, I'll promise I won't do it more. If you like the show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. Follow us, Twitter and all that. If you listen on Spotify, leave us a review. And if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review if you listen on Apple Podcasts. And follow us if you're listening on Spotify. Told you, Carl messed me up for this one.
Carl changed that all helps us out. Outro script, and it's confused him.
It confused me much. Yeah. If you like to get into contact with the show, send us an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com. Tweet us or join our Discord, which is always the best move to do. You can have a chat with us. Links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Bank and myself, but also our digital producer Carl, who has extra work to do this week. He helps make sure the show ends up where it's supposed to and not in a pile of honeycomb blocks that are just absolutely worthless. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro was created by the one and only Decoy. Both their social media info can be found in the show notes. You guys have been so awesome. We finally hit like 2,500 listens. Are you joking?
Yeah.
This is episode 18. That's insane. You guys are so awesome. But like always, guys, thank you so much for getting with us. Go drink some milk. Bye.
See ya later.